Boyd Lake. Stephen A. Smith is a Jaguar.
All right, let's talk about it.
AJ Dybansta.
Dybantsa, the savior of BYU.
Stay hard. Okay. So, AJ Dybansta.
Right.
Stud.
Right.
I mean, absolute stud.
Right.
AJ Dybansta.
Right. Yeah.
Makes his announcement on ESPN with Stephen A. Stupid Face.
Right. Screaming A.
And Stephen A. says to him, well, I thought you would want the Duke-Carolina rivalry. I thought you were going to UNC. Hey, you know that I legitimate question. I mean, legitimate question. Do you guys think that Stephen A. Smith knows BYU plays in the Big 12?
I think he knows that. Yes, I do.
Then what is he talking about?
I think he misspoke.
I think he's a dickhead who doesn't know anything about college basketball and should never be allowed to comment on anything but the NBA.
And that's fair.
He's terrible on the NFL. He's terrible on college basketball. He's terrible on what's the best flavor of fritter. Anything other than the NBA, Stephen A. Smith should yap shut. Because denigrating this kid, he basically insulted this kid. He basically, BYU. Did you hear the Duke volleyball story, sir? That's essentially what he was doing. That's what Stephen A. was about.
Uh-huh.
And let's not make any mistake about it. AJ Dybansta, one of the greatest names ever, is a huge win for BYU.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll continue to tell you, Ryan Smith doesn't give a rat's ass if the Jazz win, it doesn't seem. He got his hockey team. He got his basketball coach at BYU and Kevin Young. And the stories that I am hearing from the folks in Provo about the millions of dollars BYU is paying AJ Dybansta, the millions of dollars they're paying Dybansta. The help that Kevin Young got from Kevin Durant, who recruited AJ Dybansta to Provo to help Kevin Young, who coached Kevin Durant in the NBA, has a relationship with him. So let me get this right. AJ Dybansta is inarguably the top recruit in the country. Ends up at BYU, who's paying him millions, or excuse me, who Ryan Smith is paying millions, allegedly. And Kevin Durant helped recruit the number one kid in the country to go to BYU. And you tell me that BYU is just those weird folks who don't drink caffeine. At some point, you're going to start taking BYU seriously, and you're going to start taking BYU basketball seriously, because AJ Dybansta is no joke. I get it. We're all in the pooper for Cooper. AJ Dybansta is a stud. That kid can play. And the fact that he's going to BYU when he could have gone to KU, that is a shot over the bow in the financial world of Big 12 basketball and Big 12 sports. Because Dybansta does not only help BYU basketball, I think he helps BYU athletics in general. This is a monumental, remember the history made that day that AJ Dybansta signed with BYU.
Yeah, I think money talks. And I think that, Ryan Smith is more than happy to open the checkbook. And I think that, it's hilarious to me that once again, we as the public in this here state want to run from what's going on here. I have no question about what's going on here. AJ Dybansta could have gone and played.
I'm sorry, who?
Dybansta could have gone and played at a million different places. Best prospect in the country. He came to BYU because they paid him. That's why he's playing for BYU. And I don't have a problem with that. That's the climate we're in. He's getting over the course of his total valuation is $7 million. That's the total valuation on the deal, allegedly. So to me, I look at this and I say, hey, great, cool. Ryan Smith, billionaire, you want to open up your pocketbook? Cool, man. I don't have a problem with it. But let's not sit here and say this kid chose BYU because he wanted to play at BYU.
Because he wanted a better lifestyle.
Yeah, don't tell me that this kid is like, oh man, I can't wait.
I want to live in a dorm where we can't have sex.
Come on, man.
I want to live in a world where R-rated movies are not allowed. You think I'm joking? Do you understand that when you're a student at BYU, you are not to have sex outside of marriage? Do you understand that you are not to consume drugs or alcohol? That you are not to party? That you are not to have women in your dorm room after a certain hour? That you don't watch R-rated movies? You understand that's the lifestyle that this kid is signing up for? That you will agree to live that lifestyle. It's called the honor code at BYU.
Yeah.
And every enrollee at BYU, athlete or not, LDS or not, agrees to live his life by the tenets of the honor code. Money talks. And if this kid, I've heard a wild range of numbers. I'm told he's getting a minimum of $3 million direct paid to him every year. And he's agreed to stay there 2 years.
Which, by the way, I'd just like to point out is bigger than a ton of rookie deals in the league. Just saying.
I'm telling you. $7 million, that buys you a lot of cougar tails, bro.
So that's what I'm saying. Money talks. And I think that, we need to get away from this thing where it's like, oh, well, did Ryan do it? Is it like, did Ryan Smith like do some nefarious thing? It's not a nefarious thing, dude. It's NIL.
It's the way the game is played now.
The game is played now. Like,
Ryan Smith did nothing wrong.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, he took a taxpayer handout so a billionaire could make billions more.
Right, and then he went and took some of that handout and paid Dybansta with it, allegedly.
Paid who?
Dybansta. But look, I don't have an issue with it, man. It is what it is. I think this is great for the Big 12. Obviously, it's great for BYU, and now let's see what Kevin Young can do as a head coach.
I think it needs to be the beginning. I said Kevin Durant helped recruit AJ Dybansta to BYU.
Who?
Dybansta.
Thank you.
They helped get Dybansta to BYU.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
So do you think that Kevin Young hire was significant? Do you think they knew what they were doing? They knew what they were doing. And I think it's brilliant by BYU.
And Kevin Young knew what he was doing. Like, give the guy credit. He saw the opportunity.
It's brilliant. Yeah. And I think that it is really remarkable to me that this is the game that we're playing now. And BYU has all of the assets necessary to win that game.
I also have to say, why are we going on First Take to announce where you're going? Can I just ask that question?
Because it is what we do in this world now. Dybansta is a really personality driven. I mean, this cat's everything you want. He is going to sell jerseys. He is going to sell tickets. He is going to sell cougar tails.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach Wilson's mom's best friend cannot wait for this kid to get on campus.
Mm-hmm.
He's everything that you want
right.
in a kid on your basketball team.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. It is absolutely remarkable. So, with $3 million, he can afford to have a Steve McNair type condo downtown in addition to the dorm room. Maybe he lives off campus. I don't know. Geoff, dude will breathe basketball for a short time. He'll be gone, but this impact on BYU athletics will last a long time. Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. And I understand it. He's going to play in the ACC because, the ACC is the best basketball. Oh, wait. He's coming to the Big 12.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, the reality of the Stephen A. Smith thing, it's why you're only getting one team in the college football playoff. Because I genuinely do not believe that Stephen A. Smith understands Iowa State, how good Iowa State basketball is. I don't think he understands Baylor, Houston. I don't think he knows KU basketball.
Yeah, I think that. So here's what I think Stephen A. was trying to do. This is just my opinion. I think that what Stephen A. was trying to do and failed miserably at is he was trying to say in the clip, hey, I'm surprised you didn't go to UNC because I thought you wanted to be part of the UNC Duke rivalry and that heritage and that whole sort of situation. So Dybantsa says, well, I can play Duke at BYU.
Dybantsa.
And this is where Stephen A went sideways, right? What Stephen A should have said is, yeah, you can play Duke at BYU, but the difference is, with all due respect to BYU, that's not UNC. BYU doesn't have the heritage that UNC has on the basketball floor. And that's where I tend to agree with you. I don't think Stephen A has the depth of knowledge in college basketball to just say that in the moment when you're sitting across the table from AJ. And I think that, the reality is that Stephen A is now, and this is ESPN's problem. This is the bet they made with him. He's getting this huge contract, and First Take is supposed to be this great show. But the problem is First Take has no competition. So Stephen A gets away with this stuff all the time. And that's the issue.
Why did he not go on the Pat McAfee show?
Because
Ryan Smith's buddy, Pat McAfee. Why didn't he go on the Pat McAfee show? I'm kind of surprised, right? That he didn't go on the Pat McAfee show and Ryan Smith wasn't there to congratulate him. What I think Stephen A. Smith was trying to do was, I think he was trying to be the anti-BYU, holy cow, I can't believe you picked that over Duke. I can't believe you picked that over garden variety team in the ACC. That's what I think he was trying to do.
Yeah.
But Boyd Lake, I heard AJ already signed 3 weeks ago.
He did in the early window.
The First Take thing was for the drama. It was. And it did not bring drama.
Well, not for AJ.
The Hawaiian golfer, McAfee. Exactly. Why didn't you go on
McAfee?
McAfee.
Bro, McAfee?
Macaque.
Why didn't you go on McAfee?
Macaque.
Thank you, Hawaiian golfer. Mike Smith. Duke versus Carolina has not been good for some time now. Well, now that we're all in the pooper for Cooper.
I mean, it was decent when Zion was there. I mean, we all remember the Zion Kyrie shoe incident.
I would agree with that. And I think that we all remember the fact that North Carolina has been good. I think that North Carolina has been good, not great. The story of my fandom.
Wow.
But you look at where the ACC is. I think the ACC is a phenomenal basketball conference. I think you look up and down and you see Clemson at 9-1. When's the last time Clemson was a lead at basketball? Clemson, Duke's 8-2. You look at Pitt, SMU, Stanford 8-2. Wake. Like you go down to North Carolina at 5-4. Pricks.
Yeah.
Notre Dame 5-5. Florida State 7-3.
Yeah.
How is North Carolina? How have you lost 4 times? In 3 out of 4, I would remind you, Auburn, Michigan State, and Alabama. And that Alabama game, I watched a good part of that. You were never in that game.
Right.
Frauds. I have, again, I will just simply say, I have no joy in my sports fandom. Did Juan Soto ever get a call from the Cubs?
Hell no.
Right? He ends up in Boston. No. He ends up with the Yankees. No. That's right. Have you guys heard what the Yankees did not offer Juan Soto? They refused to include, allegedly, a luxury suite in his contract, which I don't believe for a second. But, and then you have the Cubs. So I bring this up because my $10,000 investment in the Cubs, Max Fried signs with the Yankees.
Nice, guys. Thanks.
Pricks. $218 million for Max Fried.
It's too much, dude.
I mean, at least the Bears fired Eber sucks.
What do you think of this Poles thing with the Bears? Do you think he's going to leave?
I think he is. Because it's dysfunctional.
Yeah.
You can't have a president of your football organization making football decisions.
Right. Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. Poles is supposed to be the on-the-field football personnel guy. Kevin Warren's supposed to be the dollars and cents
Kevin
guy.
Warren's supposed to be building a stadium on a pile of horse manure in Arlington Heights. Go worry about a stadium.
Yeah.
Jerky. Let Ryan Poles, who I actually think is a good personnel man, let him run the human being side of the football operation.
Well, and the hard part is that, like, I don't even think this is on Kevin Warren. I'm not so sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that Kevin Warren was like, hey, I need polls to report directly to me and not ownership. Like I think that, this has, McCaskey stepping in written all over it. This because again, this is a bad decision, right? Like if you're the owner of an NFL team, you want, and this is kind of like the Yormark two divisions inside the Big 12 situation, right? Like, hey, I'm the owner of the Bears. I want Kevin Warren helping me with the business ops side of our business, like stadiums and money and cash flow and revenue and all that stuff. But then Ryan Poles is our GM and head of football ops. He's going to build the team and put a winner on the field and help us in that side of the business. And so the idea that, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Kevin Warren wanted to step in and Kevin Warren wanted to say, I don't buy that. I don't actually believe that because I don't think that Kevin Warren is interested in overlording Ryan Poles. I think that Kevin Warren likes what he does and the McCaskies are stepping in and being like, oh, hey, you gotta be some type of manager here. And it's just such the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Eric Wasikowski, Cubs haven't been relevant since 16. Tell me you don't know dick about baseball without telling me you don't know baseball.
Why don't you stick to the Tigers, dude?
Guy, you understand that they won the World Series in 16. They won, I think, 95 games the next year. What have they finished? Their record is 2017, they won 92 games. Excuse me. 2018, they won 95 games. And then in 2019, they won 84 games. 2020, they finished first in the Central. And the last 2 years, they've won 83 games and finished second in the Central. Yeah, not relevant. Not relevant at all. Angels got the second pick in the draft, which historically is one of the worst places to be in the
just
draft.
In time to ruin this poor kid's life.
It's the worst. You want the number one pick, or you want to have like a bottom of the first round pick. So I think that'll be very interesting to see where they go. But anyway, point is,
yeah,
we can't have nice things in my house when it comes to sports or water heaters.
Hot water heaters.
Hot water heaters.
Right.
I've never thought to call it a hot water heater. That's so bizarre to me. But as a Cubs fan, we're not going to sign anybody.
No,
we're not. As a Bears fan, the only hope that I have is that Caleb Williams, I think, is the best rookie quarterback in the NFL right now. Now, we spent all this money on wide receivers who don't catch the ball, and we certainly don't have offensive line
or run routes properly.
Thank you. But other than that, the offense is fine without a running back.
Now,
never mind that the guy that should be our running back is in Detroit, and never mind that our offensive tackle. No, our best players are everywhere else in the division,
and they're winning.
Right? They're everywhere else in the division, but not on the Bears.
No.
And this defense that Ebersuck's supposedly built into a juggernaut doesn't tackle.
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
They could. They do. Thankfully.
Thank you.
Caleb Williams looks like he's elite. So,
and the rumor mill says you're going after a good young head coach, offensive-minded head coach, allegedly. If Ryan Poles,
I really
stays.
hope it's Bobby Slowick. I really.
Hey,
hope
Bobby.
It's Bobby Slowick. That's the thing that you can really. I can't see Ben Johnson leaving the Lions to take a head coaching job in the division. That doesn't seem.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem. And the personality questions around Ben Johnson, like,
right.
I don't need like a diva. Just give me a guy who can make a quarterback the best quarterback in the NFL. And I think that's Bobby Slowick. But who knows? Mike Gundy to the Bears. No.
Tom.
Notice we have not heard from Oak State James today.
Right.
Yeah. Norge Coog, Chicago sports, more dog teams than the UConn. You ain't wrong.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong.
Frustrating, dude.
Thankfully, the White Sox suck out loud.
Yeah.
Thankfully. But we don't have a competitive team in Chicago right now. The Bears are not competitive. The Cubs are not competitive. The Hawks are not competitive. Just fired the head coach. Connor Bedard's not going to be on the Olympic team. How you figure that out? The Bulls are terrible.
Right.
Lonzo Ball says that big baller brand shoes are why he's had all the injuries he's had.
I get it. I get that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, nice job, dude.
It is what it is. You know. Oh, look, there's Oak State James. I'd like to thank you for bringing out the comment section yesterday on YouTube. So Oak State James yesterday, my guy, Oak State James yesterday decided the right thing to do would be to talk about how, oh my God, the portal, Oak State is going to, run through the portal, Marty. So let me get this right. Dejon Stribling, who you said was going to be the best wide receiver in the conference, he entered the portal. Who knew? Kendall Daniels, he entered the portal. Your best players entered the portal. And then you're like, oh my God, look at Kaysen Carpenter, a 2-star out of Tulsa, is coming to Oak State. Oh man, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Never mind that Stribling and Daniels are gone now. So you hired a new defensive coordinator who's going to save the world, yet your best defensive player in Kendall Daniels is gone. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Everything's good.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Phenomenal Hebrew. I'm here. Somebody told me y'all do some sort of sports radio show on YouTube. How do you people call in exactly? First time listener,
long time caller.
People have asked me, hey, why don't you guys take calls? Nobody wants calls on sports radio. Nobody.